everybody. Welcome to the Triathlon Podcast, where I provide valuable insights and tips for aspiring triathletes. Today, I'll be discussing getting started with run training. I'm your host, Coach Gill, and in today's episode, we'll be discussing the fundamentals of run training for triathlons. Whether you're a beginner or looking to improve your run performance, this episode is for you. First, we'll start with the benefits of running and your triathlon training. When it comes to training for triathlons, incorporating running can and will bring a myriad of benefits to your overall performance. Running helps build cardiovascular endurance, which is crucial for tackling the run portion of your race without burning out. It also strengthens muscles in your legs and core, enhancing your stability and power output during each stride. Furthermore, running is a fantastic way to improve your mental toughness and resilience. Pushing through those challenging runs can help you develop the grit needed to overcome obstacles on race day. Additionally, adding variety to your training routine, including running, can prevent burnout and keep things exciting as you work towards achieving your triathlon goals. So we'll lace up those shoes and embrace the unique advantages that running can bring to your triathlon journey. So next, we're going to talk about setting realistic goals. When starting your running training, it's essential to set realistic goals that align with your current fitness level and overall objectives. Begin by assessing your running capabilities. So the factors to include in this would be distance, pace, and endurance. Setting achievable milestones is key to staying motivated and tracking progress effectively. Whether aiming to increase speed, build endurance, or simply enjoy the experience of running more comfortably, establishing clear and measurable goals will keep you focused. Remember that progress takes time, and it's very important that you don't rush the process. You have to start little by little, and I do suggest that when choosing races, even if you're a beginner, give yourself plenty of time so that you can gradually build on your performance. Be flexible in adjusting your goals as needed based on how your body responds to training sessions. By setting realistic targets for each phase of your run training program, you'll create a roadmap towards success in both performance and enjoyment of the sport. Keep pushing yourself while being mindful not to overexert. It's a delicate balance, but it's key for long-term sustainability in your triathlon journey. So the great thing about running in general is, there's not a lot of gear, but there is some, and we're going to cover it right now. You really do need to have the right equipment, especially when it comes to varying weather. So to start off, first, investing in a good pair of running shoes is essential to provide the support and cushioning needed to prevent injuries while logging miles on the road or trail. And I would suggest, actually, before you buy the running shoes, you go to a podiatrist and you have your feet fitted, and you go with in your current running shoes, and your podiatrist will look at your feet and prescribe insoles. Everyone, once you reach, I guess, over 20, everyone probably has some imbalances in their feet, and everything starts with the foundation, and your feet are the foundation of your body. So the podiatrist will prescribe insoles for your feet that address your imbalances. It's a good idea to go to a running shoe store, And you will try on lots of shoes, and hopefully there's a professional to help you to make sure you choose the right running shoe for you. Make sure the salesperson knows the type of terrain you'll be running on and what your running goals are. And that way, that will help you choose the right pair of shoes for you. So you're already started on the, right foot, so to speak. Alongside quality footwear, moisture wicking clothing will keep you comfortable by drawing sweat away from your body during intense training sessions. If you are going to run a lot and you're not necessarily accustomed to long distances, you should consider wearing compression gear to improve circulation and reduce muscle fatigue as you push yourself through challenging runs. I would also say if you are training for a triathlon and you are doing a lot of biking and you're doing a lot of running, you're getting into the thick of things, wearing some sort of compression gear will help with recovery, and it will help you reduce injuries, assuming you don't take it too crazy. Don't forget about accessories like a reliable GPS watch to track your pace and distance accurately. And for long runs, you should consider some sort of hydration pack or belt, which is crucial for staying fueled and hydrated on longer runs, especially in the summer. And that will allow you to maintain peak performance throughout that entire session. Lastly, high visibility gear is vital if you often train during low light hours or near roads in general. Even if it's in the daylight, you'll be surprised how difficult it might be for motorists to see you if you're running very close to the road. Next up, create a training schedule. When it comes to triathlon training, creating a well-structured schedule is key to success. Start by determining how many days per week you can dedicate to running. I would say if you're very new, aim for twice a week, and with the goal of adding on a third day, because ideally it would be good to have 3 swims, 3 bikes, and 3 runs. If you're new to running, know that it's very easy to injure yourself, and I'm going to talk about injury later on. But I would say if you're new, start out with twice a week, and then once you feel comfortable, then you can add on a third day. And you'll still be getting your cardiovascular training from cycling. So it's okay. The triathlon really is the perfect sport. They all work, the 3 disciplines work well together. During your training, you're going to mix up your runs with different types of workouts, such as long runs, interval runs, tempo runs, and recovery jogs to improve endurance and speed. You should also include brick workouts, and I would suggest those once per week. And the idea of a brick, I mentioned this in the bike basics. The idea with doing brick workouts is to get your body used to running off the bike. So as soon as you get off the bike, you put on your running shoes, you start running, and all of a sudden your legs feel like jello. So the idea is just to get your legs used to the transition between bike to run. And as you start, it can be whatever your bike ride is. It doesn't matter how long. It could, even if it is a long bike ride, sometimes just to start out, if you just do a 5-minute run right after you get off the bike, already you're training those muscles what it feels like to run off the bike, and you'll build the same way you would with a standalone run. Little by little, you can add on a little bit more time. So maybe you bike, 50 kilometers, then you run 30 minutes. You can add up, but it doesn't take long. You don't have to do long runs after a long bike ride to get the benefits of a brick workout. Be realistic about your current fitness level and gradually increase the intensity and duration of your runs over time. And for that, you have to listen to your body, adjust your schedule accordingly, and it's okay to take breaks. That's the idea. If you listen to your body, the idea is to always to avoid injury. Remember that consistency is key to improving as a runner. So you're going to stick to your training plan, but also allow flexibility for unexpected events or circumstances. I would also say, as I suggest in almost every episode, there's nothing wrong with consulting with a triathlon coach, purchasing a training plan online by a certified triathlon coach professional to get you started. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to be effective without hurting yourself, and often paying just a little bit of money for a training plan would help. If not, seek the services of like I said before, a certified coach. Now, even though running is something that all mammals seem to be able to do naturally, well, land mammals, there is a technique to running, and you want to constantly think about that, because improving your running technique will enhance your performance, you'll reduce risk of injuries, and you will, in the long run, find yourself more efficient without much more effort. So one tip to keep in mind is focusing on your posture. Maintain a straight back. You should be slightly leaning forward, but your back is straight. You want to engage your core and keep your head up to optimize efficiency, but also just to breathe, to take in air. You want to keep your gaze maybe a foot ahead of you, but keep your head up, because that means air is getting into your lungs. I would also say, if you're new to running, it's fine as you run, maybe you change your posture just a little bit to kind of get used to what posture is right for you depending on the terrain. So there's nothing wrong with changing things up. Another tip is to work on increasing your cadence. So if you're going to have your great new fancy sports watch with the GPS, it'll also tell you how many steps per minute. And you want to aim for 180 revolutions per minute. This helps improve stride length and turnover rate. This leads to a smoother and faster run, and that's the idea. The higher the cadence, the less time the less time is spent with your foot on the ground, and the less time spent with your feet on the ground means less pounding. It's almost like you're floating. So focusing on your cadence helps improve stride length and turnover rate, as I said. Incorporating strength training exercises like lunges, squats, and calf raises can also help build muscle power necessary for your running form. You might also want to practice proper breathing techniques such as deep belly breathing. The idea is you want to be able to take in as much air as possible, but you don't want to feel like you're breathing very high near your throat. You want to take full advantage of your lungs, and so you're going to breathe in a controlled manner, and also experiment with different foot strikes. So often we're told, you don't want to run on your tippy toes, and that's true, because if you do, you will get shin splints. So a lot of people turn into heel strikers, where the heel is the first part of your foot to hit the ground. That's not good either. That's almost as if you're putting a foot. You won't get shin splints, but it's like putting a brake on your run pace. You want to try to strike the ground with the middle part of your foot, near the front, but not more of the behind the ball of your foot. But everyone varies. Finding what works best for you, finding what gait allows you to run comfortably is very personal, so experiment a little. What I would suggest, if you remember I said go to a running store for your new sneakers, find out before you even go, find out if they have a little treadmill with a camera for filming. And what I would suggest is you get yourself filmed running, and then the professional can see how your running stride is, and give you good shoes for that. And also, if you choose to hire a coach, then the coach should be able to film your running gait to show you areas where you can improve, and also give you drills that you can perform before as a warm-up before you run so that your gait gets better. It is a work in progress for both swim, bike, and run. Technique is important for all three because the more efficient we are, the faster we will run, bike, or swim. Now, one thing that is not talked about enough is nutrition and hydration for running. So this plays a crucial part for your run training. Proper fueling can make or break your performance on race day, but it's also essential when you're just training. But first when we talk about hydration, nutrition, I like to think of it as fueling. Globally, the term fueling works best. It's essential to focus on consuming a balanced diet that provides carbohydrates, proteins, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals to support your training. So it is sort of this is somewhat personal depending on your background and a lot of other factors. But before you go out for a run, you're going to have hydrated adequately. So water is key. So if you're someone like me, I like to run in the morning. So imagine you're going to run at 10 a.m. Then I like to have a few glasses of water. I'm not going to just chug it down. I'm going to sip. And that's the key with hydration. If you're doing it correctly, it's about sipping often. And then probably 30 minutes before the run, I probably won't drink anything else. 30 to 45 minutes before, but I'm going to take maybe something with me if it's a long run so that I can have a few sips while I'm running, or I might take a bar or something like that as well. There's plenty out there that you can use. There are plenty of options while you're out on the road. But whatever the case, you're going to have a plan, and most likely it's not going to work at first. So you're constantly experimenting. It doesn't matter whether it's the bike or the run. You will constantly be experimenting with your nutrition and your hydration. With long distance runs, fueling with easily digestible snacks like energy gels, bananas, or granola bars will help maintain your energy levels. Post-recovery run meals should include a mix of protein and carbohydrates, which help you repair muscle and replenish your glycogen. So it's key. They always say within less than 30 minutes, you should have a little bit of carbohydrate mixed with a little bit of protein. That can come in drinks, but it could come in. I'm someone I like to eat when I finish. As soon as I finish running, I take a shower, then I have a big plate of potatoes with eggs on top. And that will do it. And you also want to consider whether you're going to use all whole food for your fueling or gels and bars. I stopped using gels because they were a little too much for my digestive tube. So I use only whole foods. So bananas work great for me. I use bananas for almost all my long distance training sessions, and sometimes I bake oatmeal cookies, things with oats and raisins. That's usually good too as fuel. So in this case, for this segment, again, you will have to listen to your body to find out what works best for you. Experiment with various foods and fluids during practice runs, but take nutrition and hydration very seriously for all three sports. Next up, we'll talk a little bit about injuries and recovery. We want to prevent injuries, and recovery does help. Injury prevention is a long-term commitment if you are into endurance sport. And sadly, we only realize how important it is to prevent injury. Usually what happens is we get injured. Usually we've been overtraining. We find out that the reason why this chronic pain just won't go away, it's because of something we're doing wrong. And then we have to stop doing everything. And then you're like, oh my God, that was awful. I can't stop. I'm going to get fat. I'll lose my fitness. Normally, that's when we realize that, wow, this injury prevention is a thing. We need to do this. One way to avoid injury is by gradually increasing your running mileage and intensity to allow your body to adapt without overloading. Listening to your body and recognizing signs of fatigue or pain can help you avoid pushing yourself too hard. Another important aspect of injury prevention is incorporating strength training into your routine. Building strength in supporting muscles can help prevent common injuries like shin splints and knee pain. You can also do some cross training, but sadly, with us triathletes, all we do is swim, bike, run anyway, though that's it. The next thing you can do is work on recovery. You need to give your body the space and time to recover. And this is something that new triathletes have a problem with, because what happens is you start out, everything's hard. Then you start to progress, and you notice that the things that were really difficult in the beginning, they're now your warm up. You're ready for more, and that it's almost as if you're addicted. You want to keep doing more and more to see how much further you can go. And it's probably after that when you start experiencing injuries. So you're going to have to, it's good if you have a coach, because a coach actually can help you in reeling yourself back in so that you don't go nuts and injure yourself. But proper rest, nutrition, hydration, and sleep are all essential for allowing your muscles to repair and grow stronger after each workout. Implementing stretching exercises or foam rolling can also aid in reducing muscle soreness and improving flexibility. By prioritizing injury prevention strategies and focusing on efficient recovery methods, you will be able to sustain a consistent training schedule while minimizing setbacks along the way. That is all I have for today. What I'm going to do next, if you're interested, is really, I've talked about, 2 episodes ago, I talked about the swim. The episode before this, I talked about the bike. Now I'm talking about the run. The question is, how do we put it all together? I am going to stop here today, but that is what we're going to talk about in our next episode. As you embark on your triathlon journey, remember that incorporating running into your training regime can significantly enhance your performance. By setting realistic goals, investing in essential gear, creating a structured training schedule, and focusing on improving technique and your fueling, you will be well equipped for the challenges ahead. Also know that if you are an experienced runner, you can actually focus more on the bike and getting better at the bike and save those legs for the run. But if you're new to running, spend more time for now improving your run and incorporating the bike. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Triathlon Podcast. I hope you found valuable insights to kick-start your running training journey. And stay tuned for the next episode, as promised, where we'll be discussing putting all 3 disciplines together for triathletes. Until then, keep pushing your limits and embrace the triathlon lifestyle. Happy training. Bye-bye. Bye.